Hey girlies, and welcome back to the pod. Today, we are having an episode of the Get My Life Together era. And if you're like, Carmen, I thought this series was over. Yeah, I just kind of did a bad job of it, I will say. Because the episodes were a little random, a little sporadic. But that's okay. I do have a playlist of all of them on my YouTube channel. So if you're like, what episodes are even in this series, Carmen? You can check that out because are you confused? Cool, me too, but that's okay. Today we're talking about the art of being yourself. So how you can be your most authentic, best self because, that's how we're trying to live life. We're trying to be our best selves. I feel like my mom when I say that because my mom is always the one who's like, Carmen, be your best self. And it was also a thing at my camp, like striving to be your best self. Very iconic, if I do say so myself. Also, this week, let's just chat about that for a minute. This week I was so social, guys. Also, I got my nails done. They look okay. Not the best, but they look okay. I don't like having my nails this short. But like earlier in the week, my nails were really long, but I cut them because my younger brother was like, Carmen, they look so gross. And I was like, okay, ouch. So I cut them, and then I didn't know I would be getting them done, and now they just look like this, but it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Also, what did I even do this week? I don't know, but I'm leaving to go to the lake tomorrow, which is exciting. Going to North Carolina. I think it's like 5 or 6 hours away, which isn't that bad because we're driving. But I am so excited. I love going to the lake. And I can't wait. We're going with our family friends who have a boat. As my dad says, better to have friends with a boat than to own your own boat. So that's what we're doing. We're going boating and stuff. But I can't wait. And today, I have so much to do. I'm so behind. I procrastinated. I didn't get up till like 11, which was just a bad idea. I had an alarm set for 8, for 9. Could have gotten up at 10. Didn't feel like it. My summer sleep schedule is genuinely wrecked. Last night, I couldn't fall asleep because I was so paranoid that Hadley was going to get in a car crash and die. Why? I don't know why I thought that. She left the house at like 10, and I told her, I said, Hadley, I have a really bad feeling about this. Like, I feel like you're going to get in a car crash and die. And she was like, Carmen, you can't just say that to people. You're making me nervous. I was like, well, I feel nervous. And that was like at 10 p.m. I couldn't fall asleep until 1 a.m. I didn't fall asleep until she got home because I was so paranoid. I was literally so paranoid. I was so anxious. And I walked downstairs to my dad. I was like, Dad, I'm extremely worried about Hadley. I have like a really bad feeling, like in my gut, like something bad is going to happen. And he was like, Carmen. He's like, stop. You have anxiety. And I was like, maybe a bit. Because I came into their room at like midnight and they're like, why are you here? And I was like, I cannot sleep because I am viciously anxious. But anyway, so I didn't get up till 11. And I have a long list of things I need to do, including packing for the lake. I have to go to the post office, which, as many of us know, I hate the post office. So of course that's going to be the last thing I do today because I hate it. It gives me anxiety. And then I also had to record 2 podcast episodes today because I'm literally going to be out of town for pretty much like the next month. Like, I'm going to North Carolina and then I'm going to Virginia to see my roommate, and I'm so excited. Oh my God, so excited for 4th of July. And then I'm going to be home for like 2 days. And then I'm going to Greece, which I'm not complaining about that, but because obviously that's so fun and exciting. But today I feel stressed. And is it my fault? Yeah, it really is my fault because I've done everything to the last minute. I could have had half of this stuff done if I'd just gotten up when my alarm went off, but I didn't. And now I'm behind. And my siblings are yelling at me because I'm supposed to go to the grocery store with them. But I have to record the podcast episode. But anyway, that's going on in my life. I just feel constantly stressed. But that's okay because I just recorded an episode about books, which you will be hearing next week. So get excited. The episode for the 4th of July is, in fact, beach reads. That was fun. I love talking about books. Love, love, love it. Anyway, today we are talking about the art of being yourself, how you can be your most authentic self. And I got these tips from this TED Talk lady. And I will say she's a genius, okay? So I'm just passing on her advice. No, I do not remember her name, but here are some tips that I learned. So there's this thing called the true mirror phenomenon. And that is that if you look at yourself normally, just in a mirror, standing in your bathroom, you are not perceiving yourself as how you actually look. Maybe you see things differently. People with body dysmorphia, see their own bodies different. If a lot of people see themselves, if they're like stick skinny, they're like, I'm so fat, things like that. But looking at your face in the mirror, you aren't necessarily seeing things that might actually be true. Like, yes, you see the same thing, but you perceive it differently. Anyway, it's kind of confusing. But the thing about the true mirror phenomenon is that just looking in a mirror, you aren't really seeing your true self, how you actually look. But the way that they say you can see your true self is like if you have one mirror that's vertical, and then you put another mirror kind of like next to it to create a right angle that's horizontal. And that's how you're going to see the true mirror, the like true version of yourself, and how you actually look. And a lot of people look for reassurance, like in a real mirror, like trying to look at yourself. But the thing is, mirrors kind of play tricks with your mind. Because if you notice, some days you look at yourself and you just kind of stare and you're like, damn. Why does no one tell me every day that I'm literally a goddess? And then there's other days where you have to turn the lights off in your bathroom, like while you're getting ready, because you're like, I look so crusty. This is so disgusting and bad, But the thing is, you're seeing the exact same thing. So, perception. Kind of a crazy thing, y'all. Literally crazy that stuff happens like that. That's why mirrors play tricks with your mind. And if you're someone who struggles with acne, here's a hot tip. Say you're breaking out a bit. I personally have a pimple literally in the middle of my forehead right now. And you're like, Carmen, it's not that bad. Your skin looks great. Well, thank you. But as someone who has struggled with acne since they were like little, anytime my skin breaks out like a little bit, it kind of sends me like spiraling a bit. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so ugly. My skin is so bad, blah, blah, blah. Because I attach my perception of beauty to how my skin looks, which at times my skin doesn't look great, and then I don't feel so good about myself. The thing is, that's not a good idea. Don't suggest that. But anyway, if you want to prevent yourself from like picking at your skin or like looking at your pimples or making yourself feel like extremely depressed, turn your lights off when you're washing your face, like in your bathroom. Do your skincare routine in the dark. I promise you it'll help. That's what I did last night because I was like, my skin is not looking the best. Has it been worse? Oh God, yeah. It has been extremely worse. But it hasn't been like this in a while, and I don't know why, because I haven't done anything differently. So that kind of bothers me. But anyway, think about the mirror. It looks different. And you don't look how you look in the mirror. And I also think, here's another thing that I've learned. If you're looking at yourself in photos, you only see yourself like in a stagnant pose. Maybe you're standing like with an awkward pose when your mom's like, smile, and you're like, like an uncomfortable smile, and you're like, oh my God, I look so ugly. Not photogenic at all. But the thing is, you don't see how beautiful you are just like in normal everyday life. When you're laughing with your friends, when you're just like chilling, walking around, you don't see how gorgeous you look all the time. You only see like in a stagnant photo. And that's just like looking in a mirror. You're just like staring at yourself and you're like, this is it? Really? So beauty in the movement, beauty in the everyday life type shit. Okay. Next thing about the art of being yourself is that you need to find your own unique gift and put that to the service of your goals. If you're like, Carmen, unique gift? I don't have a unique gift. Yes, you do. Everybody has a unique gift, okay? Even if it is something that's small and it is basic. Maybe it's just like not an actual, like, what is it called? Like a physical skill. Like maybe you're not like some master knitter or master chef. Maybe you're just extremely kind, okay? Maybe you love helping people. Whatever your skill might be, whether it's a physical skill, maybe, like I said, you master knitting at sweaters, or if you're just kind to people, okay? Those are both equally good skills, okay? Sorry, that just makes me laugh. For example, me. What is my unique gift? Well, what are you listening to right now? Oh my god, it's a podcast. Talking. Me. I say that. I think that's funny. I personally don't like talking about things that make me special. It makes me uncomfortable. Okay. But everybody has their own unique gift, and you need to take advantage of that. And if you feel stuck, if you feel stagnant, and you're like, there's nothing that makes me special, I'm literally the most basic person in the entire world, then first of all, that's not true. That's not true. You do have a special gift, and you need to use that special gift to complete your goals. If you're a kind person, use your kindness to help you. Don't let people take advantage of that. Use your goals to serve you, to serve others, to serve your community. But don't let your unique gift, don't let people take advantage of your unique gift. Because you're special and you are worth it. Okay? Okay. Next thing to remember is that individuality is more important than conformity. I feel like in today's society, people say, like, be an individual, have your own style, do things by yourself. But the thing is, there are so many people just like, I don't know, striving to be an individual, like not conform to the group, not try to be basic, that somehow it's like creating like this sub genre of like people that being an individual doesn't really seem like being an individual. But then again, I'm like, if you feel like your most authentic self is being basic, then be basic, okay? And I don't like how people say basic is a bad word. And like, because things are considered basic because they're popular, because a lot of people like them, okay? So can we make basic not bad? Me saying this just because I like being basic. Anyways, but people always say to be yourself, I feel like, and in life. People are like, just be yourself. Everything will be okay. Like, I was watching an Instagram story the other day. It was like a sorority at my school, talking about like recruitment tips. And they were like, my biggest tip is to just be yourself, because if you're not being yourself, then you're not going to really click with the girls, and you need to be yourself. Just be yourself. And the thing is, people say just like being yourself is an easy thing, even though being yourself is literally freaking hard, okay? And it's uncomfortable, and people make you feel bad, and they're like, oh my god, she is so weird. Why is she doing that? She has issues. And then because being yourself is setting yourself apart from others, because you're not trying to please anybody. You're not trying to conform to what people want from you, which that's why I feel like saying just be yourself might not be so great. Maybe just, I don't know. It's the just that gets me. Because just is limiting being yourself to like saying, oh, this is an easy thing. This is something everyone can do, when it's hard, and being yourself is important. And I think that is a good thing to remember, that being yourself is hard. It's easy for me to say on this podcast to you right now. Be yourself. That's how you master the art of being yourself, is to be yourself. But what does that even mean, right? Is it embracing your own individuality? Yeah. But that's just like word vomit. What does that mean? And that's something I think you need to figure out, obviously, by yourself, because your version of yourself is obviously different from my version of myself. How do I be my most authentic self versus how are you going to be your most authentic self? But I think one of the biggest things that helps is stop trying to please everybody. Stop trying to make everybody happy and change your own personality just to be friends with people. Like, those are just things that I think if you just change some habits you might have, might help. Because I know when I was younger, like, not in middle school, like maybe middle school, but also like pre-middle school, I was so scared of sharing my own opinion. And my mom would get so mad at me because she would ask me like a simple question. Carmen, where do you want to go to dinner? I don't know. Carmen, how was school today? I don't know. Things like that. Okay. Like basic questions that, people should have an opinion on. Even if, like, for the dinner question, you're just giving options, multiple options, that's fine. But I would get in so much trouble because I would never feel, like, comfortable sharing my own opinion because I didn't want to make anybody angry. I didn't want to say the wrong thing. And that just led me to, like, being shy and, like, refusing to, like, speak. And then people are like, oh my God, she's so weird. She doesn't talk. And then I finally realized, okay, I'm going to share my opinion. And even now, my mom's like, sometimes I regret telling you that because now it's obnoxious. Because now I have an opinion about everything, apparently. But anyway, the point of me saying that is that you don't need to, like, limit yourself, like, make yourself smaller just to please other people, because you're allowed to have your own opinions and you deserve to have your own opinions, and your own opinion is valid. Okay. So take that in. If you're someone who is trying to please everybody, doesn't give your opinion on things, maybe try just doing something simple. Like, if someone asks you a question, actually answer the question without saying you don't care, you don't know. Give an option, okay? This summer, we're giving up people pleasing, okay? Because we're going to do what we want to do. Obviously, still be nice to people, but you don't have to please everybody. Another thing that I think is important to remember is that to be yourself, you also have to realize that we all have our own thing, and our own thing can't compare to someone else's special thing, whatever makes them special. As in this, what makes me special does not lessen what makes you special. Okay. And I think this can be kind of hard to realize. Because sometimes it feels like if you have a friend or just see someone on the internet succeeding and you're like, wow, they're so good at this, that means I suck. No. And I always use this example of me with my podcast. When I was first starting out, I had maybe like less than 200 followers, right? Maybe 8 people were listening to my podcast, okay? And I remember looking up to these podcasts, like what we said, pretty basic, this podcast with thousands, tens of thousands of followers, and thinking, oh, I suck. I'm not as good as they are. When in reality, I had just started. They had been doing this for years, okay? And I think it's important to remember that if someone else is succeeding at the same thing you're doing, that shouldn't cause fear. It shouldn't cause you to feel inadequate. What it should cause is you to realize, multiple people can be good at one thing. Multiple people can be succeeding. Because sometimes, I know my first reaction if I see something or someone doing something well that I also do, I'm like, oh my God, they're going to be better than me. They're going to do something better than me. And I'm like, but also, like, what's wrong with that? Because now you have someone you can learn from, someone you can look up to, someone you don't necessarily have to compete with, but we like collaboration over competition, okay? And I think it's just that fact of changing your mindset from, oh my God, this is going to negatively impact me, to, oh, this could be a positive thing. I could learn something from this person. Or maybe you can just realize it's just fine to appreciate that someone is good at something. And maybe you're not as great, but that's okay. Because we should be supporting our friends. We should be supporting our family. If they're doing something well, congratulate them, okay? Because I think the biggest thing that takes a hit to your self-confidence, and therefore the art of being yourself, is comparison, is comparing yourself to someone else, to comparing yourself to what someone else is doing, their success to your success. But the thing is, Those things will never compare because you're always going to be at different stages. Maybe you just started and they've been doing this for a few months. Your start point is not comparable to someone's middle, to someone's end. Like, you can't compare that and have it be a valid comparison, okay? So that's why I think that you need to check yourself. If you find yourself thinking or seeing something on social media, let's see you see a post from a friend. They did something really well. Maybe they got an award, accomplished something, and your first thought is like this sinking feeling where you don't feel good about yourself, you know? Maybe change that to think, wow, that's really great. I can't believe they accomplished that. I'm proud of them. Instead of thinking that everything relates to you, because everything doesn't relate to you, which goes to my next point. That being that while it is easy to think that the world does revolve around you and your issues, and I feel like we have been made to think this, the fact of the matter is that it doesn't, okay? There have even been, like, if you remember that TikTok trend, which with the song that I was like, around the world, you know, and it's like the world revolving around me. Like, people do trends about the world revolving around them. People make jokes about, by people, I mean me, about like, oh, the world revolves around them, main character moments, which is like, great. Love that. Okay. But also at the same time, it's important to check yourself because, the world doesn't necessarily revolve around you and you aren't necessarily always the center of attention. So it's important not to always flatter yourself. While it is, of course, important to realize at the same time, like, you're great, you're wonderful, but also not everything is about you. Not everything revolves around you. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier, that if someone is succeeding, that doesn't mean that you're failing. Like, not everything is about you, which is kind of hard to realize because, of course, we're all always in our minds and everything in our life does revolve around us because we only feel what we feel, right? We're not feeling what other people feel like. So then it's kind of hard to remember, okay, not everything's about me, and you kind of have to check yourself in that way. There's also something called the I complex model, which is kind of related to that comparison thing that I was talking about, where you either have a superiority or inferiority complex. You either feel like you're better than everybody else, or everyone else is better than you. You don't deserve anything. Everything you do is never good enough. Someone will always be better than you. Okay. So it's like these two complex, like, personas, I guess. Like, you feel like you're on top of the world. You're better than everyone else. No one else can compare. You do things the best. And everyone else, the way they do things is wrong. Okay. But the thing about this is that maybe that's not so good. Because if you have an inferiority complex, there's like no competition and you're just comparing things to yourself and you're going to have imposter syndrome and not really feel good. And this also can lead to an approval addiction, okay? Meaning that you feel this need to be liked. Going back to the people pleasing thing, you feel this need for everybody to like you, for everything you do to be good enough. You want someone to see something and say, wow, I'm proud of you. And the thing is, if you're searching for all this external validation, whether it be through romantic interests, through approval through your work, or maybe just from your family, the thing is, there isn't always going to be someone there to pat you on the back to say, good job, you're killing it, keep going, because that's what you need to do for yourself. You need to be able to push yourself and say, yeah, this is good work. I did do a good job. I am a good person. I did do this well, instead of waiting for someone else to say it to you, because there's not always going to be someone there who's going to say, wow, Carmen, you did a really great job. I'm proud of you. So you need to be that person for yourself. Okay. It's also important to practice humility, okay? Meaning, and often there's a misconception about what humility means. Many people would say humility is thinking less of yourself. However, this is not true. Humility is about thinking about yourself less. So you're not thinking less of yourself, you're just thinking about yourself less. Meaning not everything is revolving around you. This goes back to not thinking you're the center of attention, focusing on others, doing work for others, improving your community, helping out other people instead of saying, how can this serve me? How can I serve myself? You're working to serve others as well. But also, you can't let this, obviously, get out of hand, because then, it's like, what about me, right? And you need to actually do things for yourself, because that's important. So, not saying this to neglect yourself, but it's important to check yourself. As I have said before, check yourself, practice humility, maybe think about yourself less, think more about others, think about how you can help someone out, think about how you can make someone else's life easier. I always think it's good to give some portion of your day to helping someone else, whether that's volunteer work or even just like complimenting somebody, just doing something for someone else at least once a day. I also really like the 1 compliment rule a day. So like just trying to compliment someone at least once a day, spreading positivity, because you never really know what someone else is going through. So it's always important to be kind, to say something nice. And also something that I like to realize, or I think I have realized recently, is that I don't think I realized until like these past few weeks how often people talk negatively about other people. And not saying that I haven't participated, because obviously I'm not a perfect person. Obviously I have opinions on people and I don't like everybody. But at some point I think you need to realize, like, yeah, you might not like someone, but that doesn't necessarily mean you should be like talking crap about them all day, every day. Because then if you're just doing that with your friends all day, that's boring. Okay, first of all. Second of all, I don't care. And why are we obsessing over someone else so much when we can be talking, I don't know, what's been going on with us, what's been going on in your life? Because that's not beneficial. You're not benefiting anyone. We're just trying to make ourselves feel better by talking bad about someone else. And, I think we should just maybe stop that and try to do that less. So if you catch yourself saying something bad or keep talking bad about someone, ask yourself why. And I think I also realized this past year, that I was like, yeah, there are people I wouldn't be friends with, but I don't think there really is anyone that I genuinely hate, or that I could justify talking like really badly about. Because I was like, I don't know some of these people very well. Yeah, I don't necessarily want to be your friend, but I'm not going to just keep talking bad about you to make me feel better, even though I know you might not be the best person. Like, that doesn't mean that I'm going to spend my time and my energy wasting it on something that is just spreading hate and spreading negativity, when I don't necessarily need to be doing that, and I don't need to be doing that to make myself feel better, right? So yeah, if you're trying to be yourself, the art of being yourself is about, I guess, healthy comparison, not letting other people's success limit your own success, being confident in yourself, realizing the big role that perception plays in how you view yourself, and how sometimes it's kind of hard to trust your own eyes because we can see things different from how they actually are. And also the importance of focusing on others, but also at the same time not trying to people please, not trying to prove that you need to be loved by everybody, because that's not possible. If you try to please everybody, you're going to end up pleasing no one. And that is like such a cliche thing to say. And I feel like people always say that. Like, if you run a social media account, people say like, don't try to market to everybody because you're going to end up not catching anybody. Market to a small group of people, and that'll be better because then, things are more specific. That's what people are looking for. No one really wants like a catch-all thing. So if you're trying to catch all the fish, you're not going to catch any fish, hun. Okay. I don't know why I said fish. I don't fish. I don't enjoy that. I don't know why I said that. Anyways, there was also this quote mentioned in the TED Talk that I watched that I really liked. It was a quote from Gandhi, okay? And that is that my life is my message, okay? Meaning that what you put into your own life is your legacy. What you do is what you're leaving behind. And that's why it's important to leave behind something good, something that will benefit the world instead of making it worse. Even if that's just a small thing, even if that just means donating some of your free time, an hour a week, to volunteering. Maybe you start a nonprofit. Maybe you're just working for a cause that you really believe in. Maybe you're just kind to people you meet on the street, okay? But realizing that your life is your message, I think is really important because it kind of makes you see things in a bigger picture, realizing that, hey, what I do matters, what I do is important, and I can actually have a lasting impact. And I think that's what being yourself is all about. The art of being yourself is hard, it's difficult, and it's a journey, okay? As I like to say, it's something that doesn't necessarily have like a destination. You aren't all of a sudden going to be like, wow, oh my God, I'm the best version of myself. I'm doing so great. I am so good. Because no, it's a journey. Things shift, things change, and it's something you always have to be constantly striving for. But I definitely think there are things that you can do to feel more like yourself. And I feel like the biggest thing is not trying to be like anybody else. To embrace who you are, embrace your weirdness, embrace your quirks, embrace things that people say make you too much, or embrace things that people say make you a little quirky, make you a little weird. And maybe they say not in the best way, but hey, okay, we're going to change that perspective and embrace what we have. And yeah, that's all I got to say for y'all. I know this was a short episode, but I think it's a goodie. So if this helped, make sure you leave a rating and review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok at the Girly Girl Podcast if you want to see more from me throughout the week. And just know that you are loved, and that whatever version of yourself you feel like you are at the moment, you are good enough. And just remember that in case you ever don't feel like it. Know that you are loved and get excited for next week's book episode. Bye, y'all.